All right, so if we get into our Dynasty research for 2017, this is Johnny B, UpsideDownDrafting.com. Let's go ahead and click on Dino Offseason. And as we do that, we're going to kind of go over a couple things that I talk about here on the website. I don't like dumb cheat sheet rankings. I don't like just silly research that you get from other websites that just stack rank a bunch of stuff. Because here's the thing, fantasy football owners are lazy. But the experts, the real guys, do their own research. Yeah, you're going to get some collective data that's the same, but you got to do it your own way. So, for me, I think how I put it here, learning the basics of dynasty trading and mastering the skills of fundamental waiver wire moves separates the average fantasy owner from the good and the good from the legends. Those benefit from my free advice are welcome to see my thoughts below as we prepare for another season of Dynasty. So I'll have the waiver wire golden nuggets coming up again this year, but I'd like to show a couple guys that are getting ready to begin their dynasty research, right? So let's say you've already had your core draft last year. That's year one was in the books, and now you got to start looking at some rookies. So I'm not going to give you any cheat sheet rankings or top guys to get, but I'm going to show you a series of a couple things I work with. Number one, I highly recommend if you're playing Dynasty Fantasy Football, you need to go get this game, The Settlers of Catan. It's an awesome board game that deals with scarcity. Everybody has these plots of land, like you're an ancient farmer, and there's different like shale and wood and sheep and things you trade, and you have to build little cities and things. This is a huge advantage if you can get good at this game to transfer that over to your Dino Fantasy Football League. With that said, I play a lot of that in the off season. It's not only interesting, but it's fun. And then I kind of take that mindset of trading and different things like that, but then I start to organize some groups of rookies. I liken it to a macro view of, let's say, a Little League opening day. You get all these players that are kind of on this slab of clay. Well, what do you do with them? Well, I like to do what I call a brain dump. I take a piece of paper. I take all the guys that I'm interested in, okay, out of this huge slab of guys. And what I start to do is I start to drill down on certain characteristics. That could be how they acted, how a bartender in their local tavern area would say, oh yeah, Mike Williams is a stand-up guy. Or, now this guy's always in here and he's with the wrong crowd. Whatever, get your characteristics. Because last year, what's interesting here is only 13 Dynasty rookies made the stat cut for the top 250 fantasy football performances. Not 50. Repeat that again, that's only 13. So when you get guys in college, as I scroll down here, right, it can be really misleading because guys don't run a spread offense. The quarterbacks never really take stuff under center. You have receivers in different divisions and different conferences. I'll take Corey Davis for that. Everyone's so high on this guy. Look, I am too, but you got to be careful because of the school and the competition he played with. So there's a factor there. There's other situations where guys play for big name schools, okay? Ohio State, Michigan's of the world. You got to be careful there too, because what happens if it's a guy who's ordinarily average, but because he plays for a big name school, everybody wants to tout him? Why do I have all these guys listed right here? Well, you could argue that these are probably the top 5 receivers, and I deal with a lot of wide receivers in upside down drafting. So here's my kind of slab of clay that I'm talking about. I'm only going to give you a small snapshot because my list would go for hours, okay? But what I'm saying is I don't want a ranking. I don't want a cheat sheet. I don't want a top guys to get, blah, blah, blah. Save me that. What I want to do is just brainstorm on some players that I'm looking at for characteristics that I'm interested in, or build types, like I mentioned Eric Decker, things like that. I want to try to find on my dynasty team what I'm looking for, and would this guy fit, okay? Is he a home run hitter? Is he the slot guy? Is he the X factor guy? Can he go up and jump and get the ball in the end zone? Right? Mike Williams can pretty much do it all. Depends on what you're looking for. But again, if you've read my book, Upside Down Drafting Fantasy Football, you can kind of take a look back in the day when I was looking at all this stuff, 2011, 2012, right? I basically figured out, I come up with my own list of superior team coaching system. I'll give that guy an A, and then I'll go B, and then I'll go C, okay? This is kind of an example, because this is straight out of my book, but when I take all that data, then I stack rank them from 1 through 9 on talent level that I think, me, Johnny B, not some guy on ESPN, me. And then I give them a high ceiling or a low ceiling, 1 through 9. So again, we'll repeat that. I give them a B, or C code with a 1 through 9 and then a 1 through 9. So you're going to get something like this. And this is from 2013. And then I can start to, and again, I don't have any rankings here. I'm just looking at certain things and aspects. Then I can figure out, okay, who's throwing them the ball and other factors that come into play. So take a look, guys. I appreciate you checking out my website. I was fortunate enough to work with my uncle on Exos, and I got to see Pat Mahomes throw a ball like 72 yards off his back foot, and I got to meet Jabril Peppers, to name a few. So a lot of cool research I have coming, and that'll be in the next segment. This is Johnny B of UpsideDownDrafting.com. Thank you for watching and tuning in. I'll be in touch. Thanks, guys.